Today, what the United States Senate said in a very loud way, that we will not continue to have our military posture dictated by a despotic, murderous regime in Saudi Arabia. What we did today was of enormous significance.
In March 2015, a coalition led by Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates launched a military intervention into Yemen. The goal was to support the government of President Hadi against the Houthi insurgents who had taken control of much of the country. At the time, the Obama administration decided to provide support to the Saudi coalition. This war between the Houthis on one side and the Saudis and their allies on the other is still raging, and the people of Yemen are suffering for it.
On the brink of, quote, the largest famine the world has seen for many decades. So far, at least 10,000 civilians have died. 85,000 children who have already died. 1 million people suffering from cholera, people drinking filthy water, and 3 million people have been displaced.
Not only has this war created a humanitarian disaster in one of the region's poorest countries, U.S. involvement in this war has not been authorized by Congress.
After decades and decades where the United States Congress, under both Democratic and Republican presidents, has abdicated its constitutional responsibility to be the body that, under our Constitution, determines whether the United States engages in war. It's not the President of the United States who decides whether we get into a war in Yemen or anyplace else. Article 1 of the Constitution is very clear. It is the Congress.
The War Powers Resolution requires congressional approval of any introduction of U.S. forces in a conflict, including where U.S. forces, quote, command, coordinate, or participate in the movement of foreign military forces, unquote.
So what this resolution does for the first time is it says Congress is going to take back its constitutional responsibility for engaging in war. So this is a very, very big deal. And instead of being part of the killing in Yemen, we have got to do everything we can to bring peace to that country and humanitarian aid so that we stop this horrific humanitarian disaster. So it's food, not bombs. It's peace, not war. Let me thank all of the people at the grassroots level throughout our country who helped us today win a major vote on the path toward ending U.S. involvement in the war in Yemen. What happened today is not the end. If anyone thinks, my goodness, this is the end of the process, you would be very, very mistaken. I think we have woken up the United States Congress to its constitutional responsibilities. There are a lot of issues out there in terms of foreign policy and military policy that have not been debated on the floor of the Senate or the House. And I think what today is about is the beginning of a new day in terms of the Congress acting on military issues and foreign policy issues.